In 1939, a company known as the Homeowners Loan Corporation outlined community boundaries within the city of Chattanooga according to predicted economic prosperity. The lowest-ranking communities were considered the most risky areas for investment, and as entrepreneurial interest faded, these redlined communities were marginalized, creating concentrated enclaves of poverty and isolation that endure today. However, a few of these areas have seen tremendous change by way of direct subsidies made by the local government and efforts from civic leaders and nonprofit organizations. As gentrification has recently become a primary economic revitalization strategy in Chattanooga, inequality has not only been maintained, but amplified. Recent business interest in East Chattanooga has sparked both hope and concern for the people living in the area. With the imminence of gentrification in mind, long-term residents fear a lack of representation and inclusion in development processes will result in displacement. In an effort to reclaim their neighborhood, Glass House Collective and Art Trap Collective have emerged as artistic outlets for the residents of East Chattanooga. Will the sprouting cultural identity of the Glass Street area be enough to solidify their voice in future community development?
Actually, that is what the idea concept was for Glass Street back in the day. A lot of the merchants and business owners collaborated with the residents in this area. So as far as that project now is concerned, I totally agree with the process of business owners working and giving back to the community.
So my name is Rondell Cryer, and I'm a local artist, and this place is called Studio Everyday. So when I think about the history of this neighborhood, I think about it in different contexts. You know, there was a point where it was a real thriving community, and this was the commercial corridor for this neighborhood. And as that, sort of changed and transitioned, now it's an under-resourced neighborhood, and that is what launches all of our investment in the neighborhood.
It was a pretty bad area for a brief moment where this was a hot area in Chattanooga as far as crime. But that's going to change. It's changing now.
The way that gentrification is looked at nationally or internationally is that people who have sort of come into an environment and displace the people who are there, and having to move and having to uproot from the place that you call home. And so, and that leaves a distaste for those individuals, but also around the idea of what gentrification means.
And there's a lot of concerns of the different minority groups in this area. There is a fear of people's properties being taken, or they won't be able to afford to stay in the area, or it just will not be feasible for them to live here because of their own situations.
I mean, it takes a partnership, so it's not, this is an under-resourced neighborhood, so they need resources. So sometimes developers come with those resources that could infuse investment in stabilizing properties and activating spaces. But, we don't really want the displacement to happen. So if there's some way to build a better partnership so that it can happen, just in a more just manner, then I think, that's what we're trying to do here.
Giving back to the community is another way of doing that is for the trade industry businesses to come in here and do some training, some technical support training, or training for the young folks that's in the area.
And so with this model, hopefully people could be empowered to sort of fight against that displacement.
It's going to take some time. It's going to take a little bit of elbow grease, as they used to say, and just get in there and roll your sleeves up and get in here and get it done type of a mentality. It's going to take some teamwork between the community and business owner working hand in hand. The art that's over here in this area is beautiful. We got great artists that have come here and give us great murals to look at and trying to spark interest here.
Some of the positive things that I enjoy about the work is that there's some investment that's not just about infrastructure, so they have to, people coming in and working on buildings and sidewalks and streetscape, but there's also another layer of investment that's happening in people. Yeah, I guess there's a layer of inspiration that I bring that's sometimes about art, but most times it's about life skills. And so I think the art is a vehicle to establish relationships. So some people might look at it from the outside and think that I'm helping other artists, but I don't really think that's what I'm doing exactly. My principle here is that I have tools and I can't use them 100% of the time. So if somebody else can come use it while I'm not, then that's important. And if that can help change them, that's important. And if I can build a relationship with them in the process, even more important. And then if I could connect them to other people that I know, then that's just like super magic. So that's kind of why I like doing this. In the next month, we're going to be doing a competition. Whenever you get over. Yeah. So after a while doing the work here at the studio, I realized that my work really aligns with the idea of protecting people's human rights. And so at the base, people give me accolades, but I'm just providing a resource. But the people who walk through the door, despite all the other challenges they face, those are the people who I think should have more light shine on them. It's really about the people in the neighborhood and the fact that they have gone through struggle and they still survive, and that they are the strong people.
So I think with that being said, we can move forward. We can get some stuff done. Everybody can have a fair shake. We all can get some end result that we want, and we can live peacefully. That's my take on it.
Can artistic innovation really generate a sense of ownership within this community?
She said, I'm in. I said, I'm in. I already know. I come with bad weather. They say I'm a storm. This is in my chum. That's a Rockefeller chum. I was sitting bring the home, baby.
This is Glass Street Live 2017. We appreciate all y'all for being out here, turning up with us, having a great time in the community. DJ D-Witt on the ones and twos. We got a lot of dope performers coming up.
Been through hell, but that's where all the work was at. But now I'm headed towards heaven, I ain't turning back. I'm just a young Negro, and I'm trying to make it. Why do you need a hero? When Jesus the Savior feel like you're going down the wrong path, fix your behavior. I can't.
My daddy a DJ, my mama creator. Put them together, then they made a diva. My mama creator, my daddy a DJ.
I'm going to be rapping, and I might get famous like other people usually get famous. They be rapping all types of songs, rap songs, love songs, God songs.
Feel like I'm underwater and I need to breathe. Ain't got no pulse in my body, it's cold. All the sins I've committed. start changing my soul, but now I understand that I reap what I sow. So
coming up next, we got a special treat, man. We got a couple of my favorite dancers, man. Scream Image, what up, man? Y'all come kick some flavor real quick.
Yeah, I got a few rings and I'm all the way up. And you can stay up. And if you ask anybody where I live, they point to the hills and say, go all the way up. Go all the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up.
Make sure you check out the Art Trap Collective over here in the Alabama Furniture Building. We got Grow Hope Urban Farms right here. Make sure you go to the Glass House Collective.
Tucson the Prince.
I'm Taylor.
And Art Shop Collective, we make vibes.
More importantly, we bring the communities together through means of artwork, music, just general communication, and bring people out so they can have fun. That's what, in essence, that's what we do. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to continue to do. That's our goal. We just want to bring people together and bring love. The entire area is completely different now because, you know, being who I am and being where I came from, I've seen this area at its absolute worst. As a young kid growing up in the town, you knew this place wasn't what it could have been at the least.
At first, it was like real rough around here, cause like I heard about the history of how it was like real booming out here, but I wasn't around for it.
Hi, I'm Gloria with Gloria's Design. I'm on Glass Street, 2439 Glass Street. I also do alterations and I teach kids how to sew. Not only kids, anybody that want to learn how to sew.
How do you think that this art movement and dance has affected the Glass Street community?
I think it affected it very positive. You know what I'm saying? It gives the young people opportunity to get out here and see what you can do when you come together.
We really came together and we wanted to create a scene for younger people in Chattanooga to be proud of, something that we could tell our kids about in the future because at the time there was nothing happening for
It's also like so early still, like in what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
we just want people to come out the woodworks and just be like, I support this, and if you support me, I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Like,
Give
I put
and give.
positive energy in the air, so I expect that back from other people. So I mean, like, yeah.
Challenging societal trends will always be a difficult battle. However, with such force from a young movement, the community of Glass Street may very well be on their way to becoming a model for inclusive development. For now, there's a definite air of hope and determination among the people of East Chattanooga.